Imagine you just made $13 billion, all in stock. Your company had a good year, the share price doubled, and on paper, you are now one of the richest people alive. There's just one problem. You need actual cash. You want to buy things, live your life, maybe a second yacht, whatever. And the moment you sell that stock to get money, the government shows up and takes almost 40% of everything you made. On $13 billion, that's over $5 billion gone before you spend a single dollar. So, what do you do? Well, if you know the trick, and these people always know the trick, you don't sell anything. This right here is how the ultra-wealthy have been beating the tax system for decades, quietly and completely legally. The method even has a name: buy, borrow, die. The tax system has one massive flaw. It only taxes money that actually lands in your hands, not money that's quietly growing in the background. When you go to work and get paid, that money is taxed before it even reaches you. You never had a choice in the matter. But when a billionaire stock goes from $1 billion to $10 billion, that extra $9 billion exists on paper, but he hasn't received a single dollar of it yet. The government treats it like it doesn't exist, not until he sells. Maybe not ever. So, how do you actually do it? Buy, borrow, die. 3 words. Here is what each one actually means. Step 1. Buy. This is the step most people completely miss. Instead of taking a salary, you take stock, millions of shares in your own company that sit in your name and grow every year. The government can only tax money you actually receive. Stock quietly growing in your account is not money you received, so it does not get taxed. Step 2. Borrow. Okay, the wealth is growing. Now you need actual cash to live. This is where it gets interesting. You cannot spend stock directly, and selling it means paying tax. So instead, you walk into a bank and say, I have $50 billion in stock right here, give me a $1 billion loan against that. The bank does not think twice. You walk out with $1 billion in cash, spend it however you want, and owe the government nothing. You pay the loan back slowly over time. And the interest you pay on it actually lowers your tax bill even further. You borrowed $1 billion and somehow ended up paying less tax than before. Step 3. Die. This is the finish line. The wealth has been growing untouched for decades. The loans have been spent freely. Now it all gets passed to your children, and something happens that makes the whole thing complete. The government pretends your kids bought all your stocks at today's price, not the original price you paid decades ago, which means all the profit that grew without ever being taxed just disappears from the record. The loan gets paid off from everything you left behind. The assets go to the family. The tax bill that was quietly building for 50 years never arrives. But to be honest, this method takes patience. That is why some billionaires found faster ways. Billionaires like Bill Gates took his Microsoft stock and donated it to a foundation with his own name on it. The government immediately rewarded him with a tax break for being generous. But here is what most people miss. The Gates Foundation is run by Bill Gates. He decides which causes get funded, which projects get the money, and where every dollar goes. The money left his personal account, but landed in an organization he still controls completely. So from the outside, it looks like a generous donation. From the inside, it is billions of dollars that avoided tax and never really left his hands. They call it philanthropy. And then there are the ones who decided the easiest way to avoid paying tax in America is to simply leave America. In 2012, Puerto Rico passed a law that says if you live there, you pay 0 tax on investment earnings. Not less, 0. Hundreds of investors and billionaires have already packed their bags. They say they love the weather. Nobody knew the real numbers. Until 2021. A news outlet called ProPublica got hold of real tax records and put a number on all of it. Between 2014 and 2018, the 25 richest Americans combined made $401 billion. Together, they paid a collective tax of just $13.6 billion. That works out to just 3.4%. The average teacher paid around 12%. The average nurse paid around 14%. Elon Musk paid 0 in federal tax in 2018. Jeff Bezos paid 0 in 2007, 0 again in 2011, not because they cheated, because they read the rules very carefully. There is a number that does not get talked about much. The difference between what the tax system is supposed to collect every year and what it actually collects. That number is $600 billion every single year. If you skipped paying your taxes, they would call it fraud. When $600 billion disappears every year by design, they give it a different name. They call it tax planning.